Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you into another episode of Random Select. Today, I would like to talk about relationships in the workplace. And do they work? Or should you do them? Or should you stay far away from them as possible? As time go on, will it ultimately be a good thing? Or will it cause friction between you and that person? Or force other co-workers to choose sides when it goes wrong? So I would like to jump right into it and talk about it. Me personally, I just think at all costs, your first rule when it comes to work relationships should be don't do work relationships, because we all understand that the well, I guess I would like to say that we all understand that you as a person sometimes got to find love where there is love to be found, and sometimes we choose work relationships because those are the people that we're working, that we're around, a lot of times more than you are your family, especially if you're the type of person working 12, 16, 18 hours a day doing doubles, and you're seeing these people on a regular basis. And at the most, you're only seeing your family a couple hours before you fall asleep when you come home, or a couple hours in the morning when you're seeing your kids on the way out the door, or, something like that. And a lot of times, work relationships is where a lot of infidelity, manifests itself, because you tend to become closer to that person that you're at work, that you're spending, a lot of time with, as opposed to the person that you're already with, because at some point that relationship has become a little stale. So, and especially for us men, we already don't need too many reasons to try something new or to explore something different. So the work thing becomes, the next best option. And let's face it, we've already established as a society, as people, that you do have work husbands and work wives. That the person that at work you're the most close to, that you talk to on a regular basis, that's your go-to person, that y'all maybe eat lunch together. And a lot of times it start out as very innocent, very harmless. It's just that one person at work that you tend to gravitate towards, that's of the opposite sex. And that happens. I mean, we're all human. We tend to, no matter how standoffish a person is, or how, distant a person can be, for some reason we all tend to crave companionship. We all tend to crave connections, because I think for whatever reason that's the way the Creator made us. I think that's the way we are all pre-wired to be, to long and want a connection. And then sometimes when it comes to a work relationship, it boils down to simply this. From a perception standpoint, they're providing you something that's not being provided at home, provided it's the infidelity version of work relationships. So, and it's easy to kind of pull off and do, because 9 times out of 10 with a significant other at home, you've talked about this person. So in their mind and in your mind, you've built this person up as not a threat, as not someone that your significant other should even remotely be concerned about, because you've already deduced and put in their mind that, oh, that's just a co-worker. Oh, that's just Bill. Oh my God, you think I see Bill like that? When the significant other should be extremely worried that, yes, you do see Bill like that. Not only do you see Bill like that, you and Bill got something real delicious going on. So, that's the way that works. But getting back to the core and the essence of what I'm talking about when I say, a work relationship. Let's say you do meet somebody, y'all kicking it, and at work, that they're your work husband or your work wife. Let's look at it from a man and a woman standpoint. Me being the man and the work person being the woman. You see them on a regular basis, and at times, it starts off as, hey, I'm being a nice guy, because let's face it, us guys, we love to earn, brownie points, cool points with total strangers, as opposed to trying to earn those brownie points and cool points with the person that we got at home. And that's just being honest. That's just being totally truthful. That woman that you're with, that significant other, will see you being nice and making gestures toward other people, that she going, I don't ever see you doing that for me, or she'll consider you helping them being so fake, because that's not the real you. Why you being fake over there? Look at you being all fake smile, fake laugh, with that person. So that's how it typically starts off. We start, let's say the copier needs more paper, and she needs to go do it. You'll go do it for her. Let's say at lunchtime, you say, hey, I'm going to run out to, I don't know, McDonald's, you want anything? They say, oh yeah, can you bring me this? And it starts off like that. And then all of a sudden she's checking with you to see, what you wanted. Then it just naturally gravitates and build up from there. I mean, that's pretty much how it usually works. Then all of a sudden, y'all start, talking at the lunch table, then all of a sudden, maybe y'all start talking outside where y'all can have just a little bit more privacy, or either, the way it usually works, y'all will go to your cars and talk, y'all will make a point to park next to each other. Y'all probably won't sit in the same car with each other, but y'all will sit, next to each other and kind of talk. And then eventually it moves to talking, sitting in the same car, talking to each other. And then you just start having conversations that are not work related and that are way out of bounds, but you still continue to do it anyway, because at this particular point, let's just face it, more so than anything, we know it's wrong, but it feels good overrides the feeling of it's wrong. And usually when something is wrong, that's usually the way it works. Wrong only comes in, when you've been caught. That's the only time guilt and wrong feels overbearing and outweighs feeling good. But until anybody finds out, or until anybody knows, feeling good outweighs everything. Even common sense and logic, it outweighs. So that's pretty much how it starts. So now what happens is, even if you have a set schedule, you'll start to set up in the significant other, the person that you're with, mind that, hey, they starting to ask people to work late, and you try to downplay it and try to sell it as you hope they don't ask you, right? Because you be like, I can't stand being, hey, I want to just do my time and I want to go home. I don't want to be in this place a little more longer than I need to be, right? So when that happens, but it's not happening yet, but as a man, this is the only time we have forethought to try to think things through. Now, we don't think it through to say we shouldn't be doing it, but we'll think it through to see how we can pull it off, to see how we can, facilitate this if it comes to this point. Now, you don't know if the other person at work is feeling this way. You just setting it up so just in case it does happen, you've already got a built-in escape plan to steal a couple hours, just steal a little time to hang with this person. Now, 9 times out of 10, this person probably has someone too. So she has to do the same thing. So you both are partners in crime and both trying to figure out a way how to make this all happen, how to facilitate it. So now you've sided up in the person at home mind that, hey, you might have to work. And then let's say it does gravitate to that. Now you're saying you got to work maybe an hour or two. And that's how I start out. It's usually nothing major. It's usually no major significant time that's being spent, but just a little bit. Y'all might meet up at a park or meet up at McDonald's or meet up at a restaurant and do, half an hour. Then she say, hey, I got to get back. You got to get back. And, that's the way it works. It starts off real simple and like that. But then, as it started to feel good and as you guys are starting to steal little moments at work, maybe when ain't nobody looking or you walking back to the car or something like that, you still a kiss or something like that. So it starts to be real fun. It's starting to feel real exhilarating because at this point, you're not getting this at home. When you walk through the door, Sometimes you feel like the person is nagging, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, right? And what we don't realize is that with the new person, you're not going to have that because you guys have nothing invested right now. It's all in the beginning and it's all new. So she's not going to nag you about anything. The only thing she wants from you at this particular point is time. And what you don't mind doing is taking time from the place that where you consider you're being nagged at and taking that time and putting it somewhere else. You don't mind doing that because at this particular point, it feels like it's stale. It feels like it's old. There's nothing exciting about it. You don't even get that same rise, that thrill, when you walk through the door. But you get that same rise and that same thrill and that exhilarating, moment to moment feeling when you're with the new person at work. And a lot of time we think it's the person, at work. We think it's that person. She's so much better than the person you got at home, when 90% of the time that's not even the case. You don't realize is that you're addicted to the whole new aspect of it. It's something different and something new. It's not even the person. You can replace that person with pretty much anyone and it'll do, because a lot of times when we choose work partners or alternative, partners outside of our relationship, if you really truly look at it pound for pound, they're never better than the original person you got, and that's just the truth of the matter. But we think that's the case, and we think that's what we want. When, let's face it, it's just the new aspect of it. It's like for a man receiving a new pair of Jordans. You got 5 pair in your closet already, but the first thing you'll say, yeah, but they not new, right? You could say, I got 2 cars out there in the garage already. But the first thing someone offer you a new car, you take it, but you'll say it's new. Same thing about being in a house. This house has brought you shelter and comfort and help you raise a family and stuff like that. But the first chance you get for all expense paid house, you're gonna do it. And the first thing you say, I couldn't pass up a new house. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not the fact that that person is better. It's the fact that that person is new. It's not the fact that it's even more exciting. It's the fact that it appears, it's perceived to be more exciting. Because at some point, at some point, that's going to level off. You got to realize at some point you guys are going to start to head toward getting to know each other, and there's no secrets left, and there's going to get to the point where there's no secrets left. There's nothing between you guys that's new and exciting anymore. And guess what? It's going to start to feel like what you got at home already. So you said the person at home was nagging you to spend more time. All right. Let's say for whatever reason that person that you're messing around with at work ends their relationship. What do you think she's going to want from you now? Now, she has free time to do whatever, but you still don't. You still got what you got at home. So now that she's free, she wants to put the demands on you for your time and to do more and to spend more time with her, right? So, wait a minute. Does that seem, I can't quite put my finger on this. What is that feeling? Oh yeah, she's nagging you. And the reason you was doing what you was doing with her because you were being nagged at home. So now she's nagging you and asking you to do things and asking you to be committed to things that she know that you can't possibly be committed to. Yeah, starting to feel like what you got at home already. All right, so now it's starting to become a drag. So now you feel that, hey, I need to cut it off. I need to find a way to make it where we still could coexist at work, but at the same time we just done with the extracurricular activities part of it. And 9 times out of 10, the person that you're trying to break up with is not having that, don't want it. Or either if she does go peacefully into that gentle night, she makes sure that every person, woman, within earshot at that job know to not mess with you, to know that you're not any good, to know that he will use you up and spit you out. Now, everything that I'm saying for the woman, from a man's point of view, you could just take it and flip it around for the women, and it's not much variation there. It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much a universal code of conduct for what happens when two people who've been in a relationship who work together act. I mean, it's universal. You could just flip-flop it. I mean, I promise you, if you've been through this or you know somebody who's been through this, they'll tell you that it's pretty much universal. It's the same, that once you try to break up with that person, working with that person and working in that environment becomes increasingly difficult, becomes hard, because now what's going to happen is you're going to force the people that you guys work with, your co-workers, to choose sides if it becomes to that point. Because when she starts to tell people that you ain't right, of course you're going to have that person who's a friend to you and a friend to her that's going to come back and tell you that she's saying this and she's saying that about you. So now you're going to have to start spreading your own rhetoric to try to offset what she's doing, right? And then who gets caught in the crosshairs? Who gets caught in the crossfire is the co-worker. So usually the way this work is, the men stay with the men and the women stay with the women. And that's the way it works, right? But here's the funny thing about human nature. Instead of everybody saying, let's learn from this, that yes, let's use this as a teaching tool, what it does is make other people say, wait a minute, so Doug, you done with Stacy? All right. Yeah, that's what a man would say. And then you got another woman come in and say, so Stacy, you done with Doug? So instead of using this as a learning tool, you'll have people in there, even though they're choosing sides, figuring, now that you done with them, I could go make a play for him. I got somebody, and I know he got somebody, and I know this is a perfect opportunity for me to play around, and I know it could be kept in house, and I ain't got to worry about them telling nobody, because y'all complaints ain't that each other told on each other. It's just that now that, he's figure he's done with you, now he want to kick you to the curb. And you got somebody who say, yeah, that sounds messed up, but I could deal with it. And on the man's side, you're going, yeah, she baby, he doing you wrong, but I'll give you that time you looking for. I'll be whatever, Doug wasn't. And somebody's, going over there and talking to you saying, hey, look, Stacy will put demands on your time, but I won't put no demands on your time. I'll see you when I see you, and just let it be like that. But this is how things work. This is how human nature work. And I don't care what color you is and what background you're from, what ethnicity, what culture. This is just how human natures work. And one of the truest statements that I've learned over time is that, one man's trash is another man's treasure, which is so true. Because you could see something that you just absolutely say, hey, it's not my cup of tea, that you despise, that you dislike, that you want to discard, that somebody come right behind you after you discard it, pick it right up, shine it off, put a little love into it. Then all of a sudden, it's all everything to them. Even though you walk by and see it cleaned up and shined up, to you, it's still that piece of junk you threw away. But to them, when they look at it like it's the Mona Lisa. They look at it like it's the eighth wonder of the world, so that's how things work. And a lot of times when you go into work relationships, where you started off at is not where you end up at. Usually when a work relationship makes things take 2 steps backwards, you know what I mean? Y'all started off as friends. You started off with good standing. Nobody knew nothing about you at the job. It was just, work, casual friends, and go home. Now, when it's all said and done after your work relationship, people know all about your business. People know times, dates, faces, numbers, because she's going to be saying that, when he took me to such and such, he was cheap. You know what I'm saying? Because women tend to, when things go off the rails, instead of just keeping it vague and keep it on point and on subject, women like to go into details, and everybody would know every little thing about you, which may Stacy's other friend, a coworker, interested in you because she heard a detail that fascinated her. She heard a detail that, turned her on, piqued her interest. And the same thing with your friend at work, who's supposedly, on your side, but he heard a detail that made him say, wow, I could get with that, Stacy. He heard a detail that made him go, I could be better than you, because no matter how much a person says that they're your friend on the outside, you don't know what's in a person's head. You don't know what's in a person's heart. Because I've seen people will laugh with you, play with you, cry with you, shake your hand, and act like they your best friend. And the first chance they get to stab you in the back, you will be calling for help. And that's just the way it works. You will be calling for 911 because they'll stab you in the back and then don't have the nerve to look you in your face. Because that's what I learned. Most people who stab you in the back doesn't have the wherewithal or the balls or the gall to say, yeah, I stabbed you in your back, so what? Most people do it. They do it on the sneak tip. Then they be cowards about it. They don't want to come around anymore. They don't call. You can't, get a hold of them to them because they know what they done was so bastardly and so cowardice that they can't even face you. And sometimes they don't even want to deal with themselves. All they want is what they want, And if somebody stabbed me in the back and they came to me and go, what? And hey, I did what I had to do for me. I did what I had to do to try to further myself. Yeah, it's wrong. And yeah, he probably still is a prick, but you can understand it. You can respect it. You know what I'm saying? At least you know from that point forward how to deal with that person. And that's all you could ask for. From that point forward, you can say, okay, hey, I don't care what come down the pipe. I don't care what happened. I know I cannot deal with that person on no other level, but as far as working. I'll say hi and bye. We'll deal with each other in meetings. We'll deal with each other if we have to work together. But that's it. So you have to ask yourself this question. And I'm pretty sure quite a few people out there who's listening to this has been in work relationships. And I'm pretty sure you got some success stories out there. And I'm pretty sure you got some stories that was, ended up okay. And I'm pretty sure you got some stories that were horror, disaster stories where you agree with me that I don't think you should do work relationships, And I know some people, that's all they do is date people that they work with, especially if you work like in a big plant or a factory or something like that, where there's like multiple shifts and multiple people to choose from. So, and the turnover is great where the people are constantly going. And all they do is just pick and choose like it's their own private, personal, dating factory, dating facility. So, it just depends on where you work and how closely confined and how closely you guys work together and what you do, So, I don't know. When this goes up, I would appreciate some comments from you guys to figure out how you feel about relationships in the workplace. Let me know, are you for them? Let me know, are you against them? Because I think it's a very interesting thing. I think it could go so wrong. I just don't think that the benefits of doing it are that great. I just think the disaster level outweighs the benefits of it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure you're going to have people who have great stories about it. Going to leave some great comments and say, hey, look, me and my wife of 10 years met at work and we're still together. And that's good. And I'm great because sometimes, hey, it works out that way. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure you'll have more negative stories than positive stories about work romances, about work relationships. Because I'm pretty sure it's some stories out there where people have had to leave jobs because it was just so unbearable working with a person that you just broke up with. And I'm pretty sure people have stories of where the supervisors or managers have had to call people in offices to try to deal with this thing, to try to put it back in perspective, to try to let people know, hey, look, y'all need to work something out or we can't have this because it got just that bad. So I'm pretty sure it's stories all over the spectrum, but I just wanted to touch on it a little bit and, just see where, just see how other people feel about it. Because lately I've been hearing a lot of people saying that, hey, I met them at work, But because I'm the person I am, I don't say anything, that's going to be negative, because I think everybody deserves a legitimate shot, a legitimate chance at love. I really do. Now that I believe in. I just think two places that me personally I would shy away from when it comes to looking for love, and that's the club and at work. Those are my pet peeve places that I'm not looking for love at. Anybody that, going to the club looking for love, I just think you probably want to expand your horizons just a little bit, And like I said, work is that hit or miss thing. You probably can't find some love at work, because you really do get a chance to know people because you're spending so much time with them. But beware and be leery of the fact that if this goes wrong and both of you guys have to see each other on a regular basis, it tends to be, stressful. It tends to be awkward, because look at it like this. Let's say you got a girlfriend right now, right? And if you broke up with her right now, part of healing from breaking up is not having to see that person anymore. Now, just imagine you got a girlfriend right now. Y'all don't work together, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if y'all, you broke up with her right now, or you broke up with that guy right now, part of helping you heal would be not being able to see them. But just imagine if you could, you even when you break up with them, you still got to see them every day, 12, 14, 10, 16 hours a day. Would that really be a comfortable, non-awkward situation? Because your nature will make y'all be kind of a little spiteful towards each other. Maybe not the person who did the breaking up, but the person who got broke up on. The person who was told that I'm breaking up with you, that person, and especially if the person who had it broken off with them has a little bit more seniority or could make you do stuff, so I guarantee you a bunch of crappy jobs. I guarantee you a bunch of messed up assignments are coming your way because you broke up with them. So that's what I'm saying. It has all type of ramifications that I don't know if you willing to deal with. And that's just my take on it. That's just me saying that I think romance in the workplace should be not done. So if you have any opinions, any feelings about this, leave a comment on our Twitter page. That's at Random Select. That's select with 2 T's. You can also go to the website, therandomselect.com. Check out all the podcasts on there. Check out some of the blogs. You can also leave me an email if you would like to just keep it personal, and that's it. Randomselect with 2 T's at gmail.com. That's randomselect with 2 T's at gmail.com. So that's RANDOMSELECTT at randomselect.com. And I'm really looking forward to hearing how you guys feel about this, because I don't know. I just think that, and once again, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse here, but it's just my personal opinion, that it could go wrong. So with that being said, I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to leave it open for debate with you guys. Until the next time, Random Select is out.
You have been listening to Random Select. Thank you. Goodbye.